Hello, Adab, Namaste. Christmas is in the air and we're all gearing up for the festivities. And Christmas to a lot of us means going out to the church and especially trying out the amazing and delicious rum cakes that we usually see during the Christmas season. So today we are meeting Neha Batra, who's a home baker and who makes one of the best New York style cheesecakes and delicious cakes.
Yeah.
So hello Neha, what do we have in store this Christmas?
Hi, Sophie, and thanks so much for being here. And,
Thank you for giving us the time.
And Abhishek as well. Thanks so much. So, Sophie, as Christmas is all about a state of mind. It's about it's more than a season or a festival. It's more about people coming together. Thanksgiving, families, and just being together on that special day to just all of you together, and the food and desserts, it just builds those integral bonds. So I think for me, Christmas is one of the best times of the year, and that's the time when you have some of the best desserts. So I do a Christmas rum cake where all the fruit peel plus the cranberries and the apricots, the peel, it's all soaked in rum for quite a few months. And best part is I'm doing an eggless rum cake. So a lot of people, who have certain sentiments also that we can't have eggs and all, so it's all eggless. Then I do a strawberry cake range, fresh strawberries. So I do a fresh strawberry pista. And the best part is that, the white frosting on that cake, I don't use cream. So as a policy, as a baker, I am making sure I don't use any cream, no whipped cream, no cream cheese frosting, and no buttercream frosting.
Oh.
So I make my own frosting, which basically makes the cake lighter and, sin-free indulgence. And I also do a chocolate strawberry truffle, a New York style strawberry baked cheesecake, and, dual cheesecakes. But yes, for the next few months, the focus is going to be more on the seasonal things. So seasonal as in carrot, cranberry, walnut, and the range of strawberries.
So Neha, tell us, what was your first experience with baking like? Because I am one person who's very wary of doing the precise baking thing and I'm not very good at it.
So, that's where, so baking, as you've heard, baking is a science.
It is.
And you must have heard cooking is an art.
True.
So there's the precision, as you mentioned, the techniques in baking, so that is something, that consistency angle. So I'm an ex-hotelier. And I started off my career with Rambagh Palace, with Taj and F&B. And then I moved on, as a management trainee with Hyatt. And I've been with Hyatt Regency Delhi and Leela. But I have been more in the sales and marketing division. But, Sophie, there was always something about baking that intrigued me. So even when I was there amidst the meetings or somewhere or the other, I would try and, just sneak down to the bakery to see what's happening. Or, when they would lay out the buffet, I would always be intrigued that, oh my God, the wonderful flavors, the, aroma that comes from the bakery. The whole thing was something that fascinated me. And I had never anticipated or even thought that one day I would have my own venture. Albeit, I think somewhere deep down that was a desire, but I had not really given it much of a thought. But in 2018, and I was going through a slight, personal issues, and, everybody reaches a phase. And I was just at an aunt's place, and we baked a tea time loaf. Okay. And to be precise, I think if I remember clearly, yes, I can't ever forget that. It was a banana walnut loaf. So a very, if you ask me, a very comforting flavor, and I think there was no looking back after that. I just kept experimenting with flavors. I tried out and I did an orange chocolate truffle, which currently is doing very well. Then I came out with a chocolate biscoff. I came out with a chocolate cherry truffle, a fresh mango, and jars, tiramisu, a lot of things. So I think I just sort of realized that I've discovered my passion. And during the COVID time when I was working with Leela also, and as you know, the hospitality industry and the travel industry was deeply impacted due to COVID.
True.
And then once they started laying off, I actually took it as an opportunity. And I thought, what better than now to start my venture? So I was in fact just sitting here on this very couch, and I decided to call my venture Oven Tales. And I'm staying here in this army sector in 37, and somebody put it up in the sector, one of the retired brigadiers, that since our sector was also sealed for about a month, that they said, we have our very own in-house theos, our own bakery in-house, so why don't? So I started off baking for people in the sector for their birthdays, tea time, anniversaries.
So basically, your first marketing campaign was through a WhatsApp group,
Yes,
right?
yes. And I'm still, I think, word of mouth, WhatsApp groups is one of the most effective, ways of communicating and getting your.
And I think it's very personal when you're able to connect with people, because a lot of people are using WhatsApp nowadays,
Yes.
and it's a great way to reach out. It could be a great idea to our viewers who are thinking of a business idea, and probably they would want to reach out to more customers.
Absolutely. I think WhatsApp and, otherwise exhibitions. And of course, we live in the era of digital era. So social media, Instagram, and the fact that, everybody wants to be able to see the product. And I think awareness is very important. Like I being a discerning, hotelier and a foodie myself, and having traveled half the world, for me, it's very important to know what is it that sets that person apart. Like if I'm having a pizza or a burger or even something, I think our tastes have evolved over the last few years. So I think it's very important to know what are the ingredients that are being used. So I'm making it a point to clearly mention, whether it's with whoever connects with me, a new or an old clients, of course, are regular people are all aware that, like I was telling you, no cream. I use a Calibu Couverture chocolate. It's all about the kind of chocolate you're using, how a dessert can be relatively healthier and tastier without camouflaging it with a lot of other ingredients.
Right.
Like no colors, no essence, no fondant at all. And so I think that's the whole thing, that you want to simple, but when you taste it, you just are focusing on the flavor profile.
Right.
So that was my goal, is my goal too.
So what makes your products different from, let's say, any other baker?
I think specifically the fact that, of course, everything is freshly baked to order. And, it's personalized delivery that happens via my own car and driver within Noida. But otherwise, to Delhi and Gurgaon, we have a tie-up with Pidge as well as with Uber. And eventually we will be, because we've been told by a lot of our clients that, I think high time that you now register on Swiggy and, Zomato as well. But specifically, like a lot of other bakers and people, they end up using, like you said, every goal of a business is cost cutting, profit making, which is fine, which is the thing. But I think you should never compromise on the ingredients. So for me, it is even the sugar content that I'm putting in any of my cakes. Okay, I make sure it's not overpowering the natural flavor of the cake. So my idea is that give them the taste without them feeling that, oh my God, I've had something, oh my God, I need to immediately exercise now. Oh God, what have I just ended up happening? Not to be thinking about the calorie intake.
So are you trying to say that your cakes are healthier than probably the ones which are available?
Oh yes, absolutely. Because like I mentioned, I'm not, see, if you're using whipped cream or if you're using anything with colors in it or fondant for that matter, which is extremely harmful because it is nothing but sugar paste dough. It's like Play-Doh, the kind of Play-Doh that our kids, that we used to use as kids and play around with, or for that matter, buttercream frosting. Now, anything with a lot of butter or cream or sugar or anything like a donut also, which is deep fried, or with a lot of, like I said, sugar, butter and this, it is definitely going to take away from the natural flavor. Not to say that a croissant or a Danish doesn't have, there are times when you just really crave for that croissant or that Danish, so you do want to have that too. But my logic is that if I'm giving you a fresh strawberry cake or if I'm giving you a chocolate strawberry, I'm giving you actual melted chocolate along with, say, the Baileys mixed in it and the Baileys Irish. I'm not putting any essence, I'm not putting any sugar content or anything. So I'm just giving you natural taste in the cake. So that's the basic difference, I would say. Yeah.
So, moving on, the name Up in the Air, which is the name of your venture, it also has a very interesting story behind it. Would you like to tell our viewers about it?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. In fact, every exhibition I visit and I set up a stall, everyone comes to me and asks me, "Oh, why Up in the Air? Are you a fan of George Clooney? Because of the Hollywood movie." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course. I mean, who's not a fan of George Clooney?" But it's also because, Sophie, like I was mentioning, it was called Oven Tales before. But I was traveling last year, and on the journey back, I had upgraded myself, and I was sitting next to this lady who was a corporate head. And we just hit it off. Sometimes it's destiny, you just hit it off with certain people. And I was just showing her, my logo, and I was showing her a couple of the cakes I'm doing, the images, and while we were sitting and chatting. And I actually got one of my largest orders till date while I was in the plane up in the air. So 2 days later, I executed all the cakes for her order, and my driver bhaiya and I, we went across to her place in Mansing Road, delivered it, and then the message that I got the next day from her, I think that said it all, that I'm so glad that I met you and I placed this order. So I think it's a lot to do with the trust, the faith, and she could sense that passion in me, because I was a complete stranger for her. I mean, of course, now we're in touch. She's ordered from me quite a few occasions as well. And even though now she's relocated to Bombay, but she's still in touch. And she was very happy when I renamed the brand, and it's trademarked as well now.
Okay.
We had the brand name trademarked too. So I really believe that, it's these chance encounters that can somehow sometimes lead to the most memorable events. So that's
True.
basically how the name Up in the Air came about.
So, you were talking about delivering and executing your biggest order till date.
Yes, one of my largest
One of your
orders.
largest
Yes.
order. So, what was the feeling like? Were you nervous? Were you confident that yes, I'll ace it? And how did you go about completing that order?
I'll be very honest, Sophie, I was very nervous because, like I said, that was one of the first few. I mean, now after that, we've dealt with, orders of 50 jars, return gifts, Diwali hampers, Christmas bulk orders for corporates, embassies. So now one is sort of more used to that. But that order, yes, because they were jars and cakes going as return gifts, and to a certain segment of things. So my reputation, which was just, the brand was just this thing.
True.
So I was nervous. I was putting a logo on every box and making sure everything is, thing. But I think it was all about planning. And I made sure. I think my mom was. She's always been a real brick and a support, and still is. So I think we just sat down, and we're old school that way. So no Excel, no laptop concept. We just took a notepad and decided, okay, these are the cakes. This is the ingredients we need. This is the time you need to start. So I made sure I made a real early morning start, which I still do, depending on the number of orders in a day or what one needs to execute. That's why I prefer to take orders at least an evening or a day prior, because I like to bake fresh only on the day of the delivery. So I'm
Right.
giving people everything completely fresh. The cake is also baked that morning itself. So yes, a lot of planning and a lot of execution, but yes, fingers crossed, everything goes off smoothly.
Right.
So that's the best part.
So, how do you think this enterprise of baking has brought in financial stability in your life?
To be very honest, I think more than the financial stability, I would say it's brought in, this sense of calmness and peaceness. As you know, baking is extremely therapeutic. I think it's given me that identity. It's given me a chance to pursue my passion. And I really believe that anyone out there, whichever, whatever dreams or desires you have in whatever this thing, I think you should just go out and, really. And I think I'm just very fortunate that I do have my, support of my parents and my, close family and this. And financially, yes, I'm definitely being able to sustain myself, and I'm very happy that people are getting to know about the brand. Definitely looking to spread wings, and the goal is that I want Up in the Air to be a household name, and not just restricted to Noida, but all over Delhi, and eventually everybody should get to know about
Right.
it. And like last year around Christmas, I got an order all the way from New York for somebody whose mother is based in Hamlet. And I was really happy. I said, "How did you get to know about me?" And she said, "Oh, I'm part of this WhatsApp group," like to come back to what we were talking about.
Right.
And she told one of her friends who is based in Paris, and they ordered a cake for their parents based in another society in Noida. So,
Wow.
I was thinking that, okay, so people are getting to know that, okay, there is this home baker, this is a brand, and her rum cake and this, or, stuff. And then I'm getting orders from there. But like I said, I'm definitely more ambitious about the brand now. It started off as a passion hobby. It's definitely much more than that now. And the goal is to make money while serving, whipping up magic, and making sure I have that chance to interact with people.
You're right.
So I'm really looking forward in another couple of years to be having tiny boutique bakery where I get this opportunity, that people are coming in and whatever they wish, and I'm right there, I'm right there to interact with you and bake for you and serve you. So that's the goal. Yeah.
So, you're a one-person army who's running this entire home bakery system. And who are the people who help you the most?
So I do have an assistant now, and because especially when it comes to peeling, cutting of the mangoes, like especially on days like Mother's Day or when you have Father's Day, that's when the mango season is on. So you have back-to-back cakes going.
Right.
So I need somebody to of course be there to cut. So I do have an assistant who cuts, chops, and we do savories as well. So for all that, then of course I have my driver bhaiya as well who does all the deliveries and assists me at all the exhibitions we do. So I take part in the Radisson exhibitions, all the societies. Recently did one at the corporate hub as well, and the embassies as well. So definitely there is somebody to help me with the boxes and the assembling of the stuff. But the actual baking is something I prefer to do all by myself. Yes.
So, you were talking about, taking the brand all across Delhi. Do you think it is possible to do so as a single person? And how do you think you can scale it up?
So, Sophie, that's the thing that that stage is definitely going to need more manpower. I'm going to be very realistic about that because when you registered on platforms like Zomato, Swiggy, then you need to have a lot more items ready. You need to, of course, have be doing things on a larger scale. So one person cannot be executing so much. So you do need to then have somebody to constantly be assisting you, constantly there. But all the bakers that I know also who started off in the very beginning, you have to do a lot of things yourself. It's a hands down
True.
thing, and your presence there. Because one thing I'm very clear about that, once whether it's from home right now, once the bakery comes up, 10 years down the line when Up in the Air is a household name, I'm hoping sooner than 10 years, and or otherwise, I'm always going to be there, because it's like, I think what people really want is that to feel that connection, and I want to be a part of it. I'm never going to just let somebody else do it. I'm
Right.
always going to be a part of it to make sure there is never any compromise on the ingredients and the love that I put in when I'm baking. But yes, of course, we'll definitely be increasing the manpower as the
Great.
brand grows. Yes.
Okay. So also when we talk about desserts and cakes, we also know that Indians love their meetha, which is basically gulab jamun and gajar ka halwa, especially in winters. So how do you think these desserts, cheesecakes and cakes they will stand in comparison to your traditional gajar ka halwa.
Oh, I love that. Now that you mentioned it, I think I'm craving for gajar ka halwa too. Sophie, I think, it's December, Jan, February are in fact the wedding season, and so definitely, the season plus the weather does call for that, homemade gajar ka halwa or that
Right.
gulab jamun with that piece of pista in the middle. So I don't think there is any competition between desserts, or between, for that matter, any entrepreneurs or any bakers. It's live and let live, and it's like so. I think there's always an audience, and there is always a consumer base, and there is a need. There are times when it's a birthday or an occasion or a promotion or any celebration or even just a dinner party. I've come across clients who keep the halwa, okay, or they will keep a kheer along with the cheesecake as well, or along with the chocolate dessert. So I think it's about suiting everyone's palate.
And people will actually have both.
People will have both. Yes, yes.
They will end up savoring both of them, and this is the beauty of our
Absolutely.
country, that
Yes.
we love to mix our gulab jamun with ice creams.
Oh,
And
yes, the diversity in people and food and flavors. I think that's what makes our country really special.
true, that is
Yes,
very true.
true.
So Neha, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely talking to you.
Pleasure.
This was Neha with us at India's Business Legends, whose eyes light up every time she mentions a food delicacy, a cheesecake, and every time she's talking about the process of baking it. Stay tuned as we bring in more stories for you.